We are live inside of Lobtown. Auburn gets the victory 82-70. Um, hard fought game, y'all. Hard fought game. A lot of craziness going on in here. Y'all get in here, share the live. Let's get some more of the Auburn family in here because I definitely want to talk to everybody about this game. Get in here to this live and share it with someone, please. Let's make this happen so we can get this conversation going. Appreciate everybody who is already in here watching with us live, reacting to Auburn getting the victory over the Georgia Bulldogs, completing the season sweep. Janai Broome 1 point away from his career high with 31. I don't know. I'm just over here clicking buttons. My bad, y'all. But yeah, just a great game overall for Auburn. But definitely some things that need to get cleaned up for them. So talk to me, people. How are y'all feeling about them getting the sweep? How are we feeling about Janai Broome 31? How are we feeling about Denver with 17? Chad Baker Mazar with 11. Miles Kelly with 11. Oh, Chad was, both Chad and Miles Kelly just below the projections there. I think both of them had an 11.5 projection from an underdog, and both of them were 1 bucket shy of that, 1 point shy of getting to that. A lot to talk about here. I'm gonna say my piece in a little bit, but y'all share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get in here and talk about this. Nina says, did Broome block that last shot? He absolutely did. So add that to the stat sheet there for Janai Broome. Let's see. What else? King Richard says 6 of 8 years with 25 game wins in a season. That is Bruce Pearl for you right there. 25 plus wins in 6 of his 8 seasons at Auburn. That's amazing. Virginia saying CBM needs to control himself to give us a chance. Just kidding. Love his energy and effort. You're doing that to goad me. I know. I see what you're doing there. You were on the watch party, so you already know how I feel about that situation. Tom says, feeling like that limp on Janai looks worse. It get progressively worse throughout the game. Like it's just the nature of him playing. He'll start the game fine, and then as the game goes on, it gets worse. These are physical games as well, so Turkey says closer game than I would have liked, but a win nonetheless for sure. Ant says we have the number 1 overall seed, number 1 seed. This tourney should be good. I don't know if they've locked up the number 1 overall seed yet. I think they still got to win. I think they should. If they win the SEC outright, they will. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but the projections on that. But they're definitely. I think that they have a 1 seed locked up. The question is whether it's going to be number 1 overall or not. Ernest said I couldn't sync with y'all on the game reaction, so I had to pass, bro. My bad. It's all good, man. You watched the game. You're in here with us right now. Do me a favor and share this live right now, though. Tell somebody else to get in here. Technicals were definitely not fair. I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute, and I'm gonna try to keep my calm while I do. Super chats. UGA's biggest mistake was trying to get away with that tech on Denver and Chad. Auburn woke up and never going to let them win after that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I saw one earlier in here where it says, "Can we please talk about the most ridiculous tech calls I've ever seen?" I may do just a whole separate video on this. All right. First and foremost, I don't understand how Silas Demery for Georgia basically walks up into Denver and puts his forearm into his chest, and Denver tries to get him off it because it's a dead ball, right? Like they're not trying to huddle or anything. It's a dead ball. He walks up, puts his forearm into his chest, and Denver tries to get his forearm off of him. And then Demery's all like, "Oh no, what are you pushing me for?" Chad comes over, and to his credit, Surreal for Georgia come over and try to break it up. And that's anything other than a tech on Silas Demery. Maybe a double foul because it's a dead ball. Maybe you only have to call a tech on that one. I don't get how 4 players got a tech called in that scenario. I don't get that. Demery, okay. And if you got to call both the scenarios, Denver, okay. How did Chad and the other dude get a tech in that scenario? What is that about? It doesn't make sense, y'all. And this is what I've been saying about the whole Chad Baker thing about how many texts he gets. He's getting unfairly issued texts. He ain't doing nothing. I don't understand it, dog. Like how can people not see this? How can you not see, yo, like if he's involved at all? And everybody's like, "Oh man, you shouldn't be staring down the other team's bench." But like, man, you know how many times somebody stared down the bench in this game and didn't get called for nothing? It's crap. And people are like, "Oh, Chad's antics." It's like he don't be doing nothing, bro. He don't be doing. They just be calling stuff on him. It's not fair to him, bro. Like, let's be fair to the. All right, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna calm down. I'm calm down. It's crazy. It's unnecessary. And yes, you're right. It did wake Auburn up because Auburn had been playing kind of lax up until that point. We'll get back in here to the chat though. Jamal Pye says, "I was telling my coworker we need to get Asa to Auburn next season. Asa's going to the league, my boy. Asa Newell is not coming back to college basketball unless he absolutely has to. He is going to be a lottery pick. Hear me when I tell you, he's going to be a lottery pick." Ernest, this is how I felt too, because if they wanted to tee up Chad, they had to call on the Georgia dude who was trying to break it up. The only way you can call a tech on Chad in that scenario, you got to call it one on the dude on Georgia who tried to break it up and pull Denver away too. But that's the only reason you end up with 4 in there, because like, well, we got to give Chad one because he was there. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love they tried to score at the buzzer and Janai was like, "Nah, yeah." They tried to get him a little extra whatever in there with 7 seconds left. He was like, "Bro, no. This is a 12-point win. Stop." Super chat from Virginia who says there was one difference between Chad and Marshall Henderson. I think Bruce needs to point that out publicly and make it more difficult for the refs to tee him. I don't even know what you're referring to with that. CJ DeJour says, "I thought they played well, just don't know about these rims at Neville." Bro, first half was awful. Like when you get into the split of this game, Auburn scored 53 in the second half. 53 points in the second half of this game, dog. Now, Georgia scored 46, but like that for both teams to have scored less than 30 in the first half and Auburn still get to 80. I didn't know they was going to be able to get to 80, which I said pregame. I felt like that's the number you need to get to comfortably win against Georgia. You need to get into the 80s. If you can get into the 80s and you can hold Georgia sub 70 is what I said, then you can come away with a 20-point win in this. But they got to 80 and held Georgia to 70. So you end up with a double-digit victory. But yeah, man, the shooting has been terrible inside of Neville for anybody, not just Auburn. And I think that's the thing that people like, we talked about this actually during the watch party. People want to point out that Auburn has shot poorly and they're lucky that these other teams have shot poorly. And I'm just like, well, these other teams aren't really good shooting teams. Like, and you have to shoot amazingly to beat Auburn. Hello, Florida. Hello, Duke. You got to shoot in a like that. The only recipe for beating Auburn is to be amazing. That's it. If you're average, you're going to get beat. If you're just good, you're going to get beat because Auburn's too good. You have to come with amazing to beat this team. It's got to be ridiculous shot making. It's got to be you're not missing wide open shots at all. And I think that people are losing that in the fact, okay, well, Auburn's not shooting well, but nobody else is shooting well either. And that's because Auburn plays really good defense. You have to be amazing to beat this team. Or at least that's been the case in the only 2 games that they lost. Some dude off the bench comes in and hits 6 threes in the first half. Freaking Florida hits, 12 threes in that game. 13, I think, threes in that game. You've got to be amazing to beat this team. Smith says, and then the commentator said that Chad should shut up. Like, Chad didn't do nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, Chad was smiling over on the bench, chilling. Like, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? The boy don't have to do nothing. And people are saying he needs to, like, come on, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. What else do we got here? Hey, Deets, what's up, man? Been a while. Good to see you in the live chat here. Three straight games with a T is a problem. I agree with you. 3 straight games with a T is a problem, considering 2 of those he didn't deserve. The Bama game, I see. He took a swipe at a guy, deserved that T. These last 2 games, there's where the problem is. Both of those were BS. So I agree with you 100%. That's a problem. They gotta clean up the way that they're calling this. Thank you for pointing that out. Super chat from Ben says, where are we with the re-record number of quad 1 wins? I don't know. It's a good question. 14 quad 1 wins, says King Richard here. 14. The record. Oh, you said regarding the record. You said I think the record is 16 and they have 14. So they'll have their opportunity to get there. Let's take a look at Auburn and what they have left on the schedule. They have 14 quad 1 wins right now. Ole Miss will be a quad 1 game. Kentucky will be a quad 1 game. Texas, they have 4 quad 1 wins games left. So that if they get 2 of the last 4, they tie the record. They go 3 or 4, they get the record. There you go. There you go. All these quad 1 wins and we still haven't locked up the number 1 seed is crazy. Yeah, I don't. The only reason I'm hesitant to say it, and somebody else who does bracketology better might be able to tell you how they don't have it already, is because I understand how bias works, and the bias is not going to go in Auburn's favor. So if Auburn loses the last 4 games, they're not going to get it. So, Versiglio, I think. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Auburn needs to stop fouling, plain and simple, especially towards the end of a game. I don't disagree with you that Auburn needs to figure out how to not foul. I disagree that Auburn was doing a lot of fouling in this game. I think that they got called for a lot of fouls, but I think they also got screwed on a lot of fouls early, which put Georgia into the bonus early. So, yeah. Devin says the bracketology guys have said Auburn has locked up the number one seed, the number one overall seed, or a one seed period? Because that I think that they've locked up a one seed, yes. But are you saying if they said that they are the number one overall seed locked up now? If that's the case, wonderful. Oh, your first name is William. It's backwards. So, but for Siglio is okay. Got you. Ernest says yes because we're not considered a true blue blood basketball bias. I don't disagree. Riley, oh excuse me, clicked the wrong one there. Riley says just a one seed. Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree that Auburn should be a one seed regardless of what happens for the rest of the season. Devin says the overall number one seed. They said they had it locked up a couple of weeks ago. There's no way. There's no way Auburn had the number one overall seed locked up a couple of weeks ago. I don't believe that. Now they may have said it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying I don't believe that that's true. Because had Auburn gone on a losing streak, they would have definitely moved him off of that. They definitely should be at this point, regardless of what happens these last 4 games, a one seed come tournament time. Should they be the number one overall seed? I still think that they need to win probably at least one more game. At least one more game. Burden Beham said Kansas had 17 quad one wins a while back. So apparently the record's 17. I don't know. If Auburn wins one more, we lock up the number one seed because they have no remaining bad losses. See, I agree with this. I agree that one more win should probably put them in the driver's seat for the number one overall seed in come tournament time. CJ says, I know we lost to Duke in Florida, but our resume is better by a large margin. How would they even choose between those two? They're going to look at the overall record. And if Duke keeps winning, they're going to put, listen, again, y'all got to understand how this works out here in these streets, bro. Yes, Auburn's resume is far superior to what Duke could put out there. But if Auburn loses 6 games this season because they have 2 losses, and if they lose the last 4, if they have 6 losses going in, they're going to put Duke with only 3 losses above Auburn. They just will, even though Auburn's resume will look much better. They just will. That's how teams like Gonzaga end up 1 seeds. They ain't play nobody all year, but they ain't lose. So they're going to put them up there. That's how it works. Ernie says there were people saying Auburn should be a 1 seed with a 12-6 SEC record. I agree with those people. I believe that even if Auburn were to lose all 4 of these remaining games, they should be, well, which would put them, 13-5, but they should still be a 1 seed come tournament time. All right. Jared asked for it. Let's get to it. It is everyone's favorite time. It is time for the plus minus for the game. Let's get into it, y'all. We will start, as always, with our plus minus with the person who had the worst plus minus. That dubious distinction goes to a -6 for our guy, Chris Moore. Chris Moore had a -6. Chris Moore had a really terrible turnover in this game, too. He had 1 turnover, and it was an awful one. He missed the only shot that he took, a layup that he probably should have made. Probably should have got a foul call on that, but missed the only shot that he took in the game. Had 1 board, 1 turnover, and 1 steal. Had a steal and immediately turned the ball over. -6 for Chris Moore in this game. Next up, with a -4, Tahad Pettiford, who went 0 of 7 from the field in this game, made his only 2 free throw attempts, had 2 boards, 5 assists, and 2 turnovers, and a steal in this game in his 21 minutes. Tahad is in a slump like none other right now. He missed shots that are absolutely makeable for him. He went 5 of 7 in this first game. He went 0 of 4 in this one from 3. And so Tahad with a -4. Rounding out the only other players who had a negative plus minus was Jaheim Hudson. 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field. 3 boards in this game. No turnovers, no blocks, no steals. Jaheim Hudson, a -3 in this one. Everybody else who touched the floor for Auburn was in a positive plus minus. We will start with the lowest positive plus minuses. Both of those have a +5 for Auburn. We'll start with the one who I feel like had the least impact on the game, and that's Chaney Johnson with his 4 points, a +5, 2 of 2 from the field, 0 of 2 from free throw, though. Only 1 board in this game and a turnover. Chaney Johnson was a +5 in his minutes there. Dylan Cardwell was the other one. Also 4 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 5 total rebounds, 2 of those being offensive boards, 1 assist, 3 blocks, 2 steals, no turnovers, +5 for Dylan Cardwell. And rounding out the last 4, all of them have a double-digit plus for them in the plus minus. I will take guesses on these final 4 between Denver Jones, Janai Broome, Chad Baker-Mazara, and Miles Kelly as to who had the highest plus minus for Auburn with a +18 in this game. Who was the top plus minus person for Auburn in this with a +18 on the day? I will wait and see who you all have as guesses here. +18 for this person. See Denver Jones, Janai Broome, Denver, Janai. Again, the options are Denver, Janai, Chad, and Miles. See Denver. I see a Chad in here. See another Janai. Miles Kelly on here. I will eliminate the person at the bottom of the list, and that is also with the least amount of guesses, Miles Kelly, who was a +14, had 11 points on 3 of 9 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3. He is also in a slump right now. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, had 8 boards in this game. I told you Miles needed to come up big on the boards, and he did. Almost had a double-double with 8 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover, no steals or blocks in this game. All right. See some more Brooms, some more Denvers in here. Let's eliminate the person who is the next tied for +14, and that is Denver Jones with 17 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, hit all 6 of his free throws, 1 assist and 1 turnover in his 23 minutes of work. Denver Jones, a +14 on the night. Now, to the man with the highest plus minus, it's between Janai and Chad. Highest plus minus of the night goes to Chad Baker-Mazara, who was a +18. Janai was a +17, just 1 point away from tying for the highest there. Janai with 31 points, 11 of 18 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 of 11 from the free throw line, 14 boards for a monstrous 31 and 14 double-double in this game. 4 assists, 1 turnover, 2 block shots, no steals in his 36 minutes. I think the reason why Chad ends up getting this is he had less minutes. He only played 33 minutes, and so he was a +18, 11 points, 3 of 9 shooting, not great there, 2 of 5 from the 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 turnover. One of his assists was amazing. Can we just say play of the game? Dylan Cardwell blocks a save attempt from Blue King, who's falling out of bounds, tries to throw it back in bounds. Dylan Cardwell blocks it, makes a length of the floor pass to Chad. Chad with the touch pass to Janai, who dunks it. Amazing play there from all 3. Hockey assist there for those who are hockey fans for Dylan, but the assist goes down to Chad on that one. Great look there. Great game overall from Chad Baker-Mazara. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. But Denver, Janai Broome, with a monstrous 31 and 14. I don't know what more this man got to do to lock up player of the year, but Just go ahead and start chiseling his name into that thing, bruh. What more do you need to see from Janai Broome? 31-14. Come on, man. Are we being for real? With 4 assists, only 1 turnover? Come on, man. Took Asa Newell to school today. Asa Newell had a monstrous game, though. I ain't gonna hold you. Newell had 20 on 6 of 12, shooting 3 of 6 from 3. He had 5 rebounds himself in his 34 minutes. Really great, solid game there from Asa Newell tonight. But Auburn comes out with the victory. Well-deserved win on a statistically bad shooting night. 43% from the field, 27% from 3. Only made 6 threes in this game. I thought they needed to get closer to 8. 79% from the free throw line. They made 22 free throws in this game on 28 attempts. That's pretty good. Only 8 turnovers for Auburn. I said that they need to win the turnover margin by 5, +5 in turnover margin. That's exactly what they hit. 5 +5 in the turnover margin for Auburn. Won the rebounding battle by 5 in this game. Won the offensive boards against a team like Georgia that rebounds really well. That is a monstrous board game, a thing that Auburn fans have been saying. I myself has been a bugaboo for Auburn. They locked in on the boards in this game. Won the boards by 5, won offensive boards by 3. 38 to 26 points in the paint in favor of Auburn. 5 and 5 on blocks, 4 and 5. Georgia with the lead there on steals. Assists, 17 of Auburn's 27 made baskets came off of assists. That's the kind of offensive efficiency that you want to be able to see from Auburn. Really great job there. Super chat from Ben Bloodworth, who says, lock down another week at number 1. That's 7 straight weeks. Auburn, the number 1 team in the country, with a tough road left. 2 really great road tests coming up for Auburn versus Kentucky and Texas A&M, but final home game here versus Ole Miss coming up before you hit that 2-game road stint, and then you finish it off with the Turds in Neville Arena that following Saturday. Man, that Kentucky game is at noon. Oh Lord, I don't know if I'm gonna make that drive, y'all. That's an early game. I'm gonna have to drive up Friday night or something. All right, we'll see. Anyway, I'm about to get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys for jumping in here with me. We'll be back talking more about this game on the weekend tailgate tomorrow. I may not be on the weekend tailgate tomorrow because I may be in Tuscaloosa for the women's game, but we'll see how that goes. Before you get out of here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content with somebody. We'll be back at you all tomorrow with the weekend tailgate. Until then, as always, War Eagle, I'm out of here.